Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Interactive. And you know, the Black Eyed Peas sing a song. I got a feeling.
Obviously, you don't sing a song. You just kind of kill a song.
Tonight's going to be a good night. Thanks for tuning in to the Pro Wrestling Report Interactive. You know, here's the problem, B-Dad. We do these interactive episodes, which we enjoy doing so much.
Yeah.
And it equals more emails.
So as much as we enjoy trying to get to all your emails, you're making it harder on us because we have to get to more emails.
We have multiplied the intern staff, and they're still not able to keep up. But you know what,
Yeah.
guys? It's a great problem to have. Keep those emails coming to us at pwrshow.com. We're going to try to respond to each email that we get, either personally or here on this program. So without further ado, let's get right down to it. Our first email comes from Sri Lanka, Meathead. I believe our first email from Sri Lanka, Dylan Melawana sends this in. Is WWE worried about their PG rating? Since TNA doesn't have a PG rating, fans such as me would like to see some sort of violence. The quality of the WWE matches have gone down since the PG rating came up. For example, if you take guys like Undertaker and Triple H, if these guys are supposed to be brutal and hardcore fighters, do you think it is affecting the WWE superstar's performance because of the PG rating?
No, not at all. I don't think that's the case. Now, what's his name again? I'm sorry. I apologize. Dylan. Apparently you, and there's nothing wrong with it, apparently you equate quality to more violence. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's your cup of tea. It's okay. PG rating doesn't mean bad. It just means that there'll be less sex, there'll be less adult content, and what they should do is focus on more athleticism. You don't have to have a rating to be athletic.
That's not what the fans want to see.
That's not what
this email.
But he's just one of many fans, many different groups
of
fans.
Yeah, but the numbers prove it. In general, biggest time in WWE, most profitable year happened during the Attitude Era when all this stuff was prevalent. They've not seen business as good as it was, except for during that period of time.
Well, business has been great for him until TNA came around. Business overall. You're talking about in-ring product. You're talking about television product.
I'm talking about them pulling a profit of $62 million in the year 2000, I believe, and last year pulling a profit of just over $40 million.
Still profitable. Still making money. I'm not trying to argue the point.
With any company, you don't want to leave revenues on the table. If you made it once, you should presumably be making it each year.
They have so many different factors going against them now compared to what they,
But the business is out there, and I think that this does change the fans' perception as a whole more than not. Change the fans' perception of the product, whereas TNA does not have that restriction on their own product. So I think they've got more of an opportunity to give the fans,
if that's where they
a lot of fans, what they want.
Sure, if that's where they want to go.
Thank you for that email. We appreciate the interaction there. Let's continue now and go to an email from Nick B. Nick says this. I was watching TNA Impact and was listening to Jim Cornette's commentary, and he was talking about how Vince Russo was going to bring shock television to TNA. And after this Impact, that's kind of what it looks like, with Angle talking about his arrest, the Pope saying the word dick, Orlando Jordan's flaming gimmick. Well, I'll take that back. I think they cut some of his entrance out of TV, and I think that's about it. With everything going on, what direction is Hogan, Bischoff, and Russo really going in? Because it seems like TNA is just going in every direction possible.
You know what they just did? They got you to talk about it. Now, granted, they didn't probably intend to air all of that entrance or air all of the other things.
Well, they intended to. Spike apparently put the kibosh on it. Things got a little heated, apparently.
Heated ain't the word. And I don't think anybody was happy about it. So
they're going in all kinds of directions because they have the opportunity to try new things.
Absolutely.
And you can't fault them for it, whether you agree or disagree with it. Much like WWE, agree or disagree, as long as they're trying new things. Look at what WWE did with NXT. They tried something new, and it is a tremendous hit at this point. We'll see what happens down the road, but you got to take a chance to stand a chance, and that's what both companies are doing.
To make money.
It's not always about money. Actually, I've found that
I'm just using an analogy. Just an analogy.
It's true, but when challenged, and that's what a lot of people think, it's about having the big names, it's about having the big events, it's about having all this stuff. But you're more creative when you don't have that stuff, and sometimes can ultimately put on a better product as a result. Thank you for that email, Nick B. Now let's go on to Zach, who wants to talk about Hulk Hogan as well. Recently, Hogan has made some interesting decisions. Whether it was signing the Nasty Boys, bringing in Mr. Anderson, Sean Morley, Orlando Jordan, the change to the four-sided ring, and now going to Monday nights. I think TNA is jumping the gun and going Mondays permanently only because they had some success with Hogan's debut. TNA is not ready for permanent Monday time slot and will eventually move back to Thursdays. What are your thoughts on TNA Impact moving to Mondays? That from Zach.
Honestly, so what? The Simpsons started on Sunday, moved to Thursday, moved back to Sunday. So what? It's, they can do it. They're not limited to being on Thursdays. They're not limited to staying on Mondays now that they've moved. They can move. So what if they move? It's worth a shot. I think, again, they're going to struggle for a while against WWE. I don't know if they'll struggle product-wise. I mean, they'll just keep putting out the product that they've been putting out. I don't think they'll struggle at all. As far as ratings, viewership, advertising dollars, they're probably going to struggle, pretty heavily. But then you may also get the attention of people that don't want to spend their money with WWE anymore. Maybe they've gotten a sour taste in their mouth from, adventures that they've had with WWE and may try TNA instead.
It was there's a choice now, and whether you like one or the other or both, the fans have a choice. And I think that if TNA had stayed where they were on Thursdays, look at what they've done. They've not had substantial, sustained growth in that slot, so they've got to do something different. Whether it's going head-to-head with Raw on Mondays or not is a different story. I truly feel they should have taken advantage of that unopposed first hour and then went 1 hour head-to-head with Raw.
How about WCW style and go 7 to 9:15?
Well, yeah, and then we just found out that they apparently will be given the opportunity to have an overrun on a regular basis. But, I think that that's the only missed opportunity there for TNA Wrestling. But I think that this was the way to go. And, hey, they're taking that risk, taking that chance, and let's see what happens. Zach, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Zach, thank you very much for that email. Let's now go to an email from John Funk, who sends us in.
We want the funk!
I would personally love to see Shawn Michaels in the Undertaker streak. If anyone is qualified to do this, it is Shawn. If you actually look at Taker's awesome streak of matches, even a blind man would see a lot of stinkers on that list. It has gotten to the point now that I no longer enjoy watching Taker's matches, and at Mania, because we already know who is going to win, there is no magic or realm of possibility of him losing.
Yeah, aren't you the little guy that did the thing?
No, I did this.
Oh my. Well. You just can't get ahead, can you?
No, I'm a meathead.
Clearly. Thank you, Mr. Stivic. What'd you do to Cal?
I did nothing to Cal. Apparently Cal thinks he got over on me.
Well, twice.
Or owned me, or I don't know. And you digress. Dinner.
You compare each of their Mania matches side by side. You tell me who has a better WrestleMania history. That from John Funk, talking about Shawn Michaels. And
better WrestleMania history doesn't matter in this. The thing with Undertaker's streak, if, and it's not going to happen, if Undertaker's streak is to be ended, it can't be ended by Shawn Michaels, because what is he going to get out of it afterwards?
Who, Michaels?
Yes. What would he gain from being the man? He's not going to cement his legacy even harder than he's already cemented it. You need to give it to somebody that can take that ball and run with it afterwards. Not unlike a Jericho saying he's the first ever undisputed champion to beat The Rock and Stone Cold the same night. He was able to take that and go with it for years and years and years. Now he's the guy that does, is the best at what he does.
Whatever that may be.
Doesn't matter. I'm the best at what I do.
Whatever that may be.
Cal's the best at what he does.
That's for damn sure.
It is what it is.
John Funk, thank you very much.
Thanks for the funk.
Apparently it was very inspiring to Cal. Let's go down to our final email of the day. Ken in Denmark. Just got a question about wrestling moves and finishers.
Okay.
Can you please tell me why don't the wrestlers change moves and finishers? Most, if not all, of the wrestlers that have been wrestling for years have had the same moves and finishers. Why? Is it that hard to learn new moves? Or are they just scared of change? Please tell me why. I'm sick of seeing the same things. I've already seen it for years. You always know what's going to happen at the end of the matches. Ken, I don't think so. I got to challenge you on that.
Doesn't it make you a little comfortable? I mean, I'm not saying that they keep the same. Every wrestler keeps the same finishing move forever, but doesn't that make you comfortable to know that in your mind, psychologically, you see that move. Now you're preconditioned in your mind to think this should be the end.
When you buy the video games, what do? Finishers. You always want to look up, how do you hit the finisher? When can I hit the finisher? And I say that because it's all about the finisher. It almost defines a person. Remember all the uproar when John Cena changed from the FU to the STFU to the attitude adjustment and the whatever.
Well, the FU was a reversal of the F5, and he used it and it said FU because
a reversal or a same sort of kind of
whichever. But it was to go against
F5.
It was to go against Brock Lesnar because and he had a little rap about it and said F5 I say FU.
The finisher is important. Should they modify them here and there? Sure. And they have. A lot of wrestlers have. Austin was using the $1 Million Dream before he changed to the Stunner, and he was using the Stunner for a couple of weeks before they called it the Stunner. So it's been done many a time.
And it's not like they don't get these moves. I'm sorry for interrupting you. It's not like they don't get these moves from other guys. Austin's Stunner was being done by the Disco Inferno before Austin started doing it.
But it wasn't the Stunner. The Diamond Cutter is not the Stunner. The Stunner is not the Diamond Cutter.
Diamond Cutter is not the RKO.
Indeed. Thank you for that email, Ken in Denmark. I really got to say thank you to all of our emailers from all over the world.
Literally all over the
world. That one from Denmark. We do ask a favor of you, though. Firstly, feel free to tune in to our live ESPN radio show, which streams live at 540 ESPN and at PWRshow.com. And if you can't do that, feel free to get our app on iTunes to listen to the show on the go, on the fly, if you will. You don't have to download it. You can listen to the stream there on your iPhone. And also, you can subscribe and get the show at a later time on iTunes and also catch it on all of our media channels. But when you send these emails, please include your name and your location. And, the shorter the better. However, we've had some tremendous emails with some very long narratives that all were relevant. But we want to try to get to as many of your emails as we can. So as you send those over, just go ahead and keep those few things in mind, because that's why Cal's coming in and owning Meathead every so often, is because he's the one who's got to go through all these emails to make sure they're ready for air. So we had 300 of them, and that was 5 of them today. So, anyways.
In the meantime and in between time, as you were going to say.
No. I was going to say, until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.